that is what caused that 30% of the country not to have electricity
Yeah,
last
yeah,
night.
but I have to tell the polling by me. Let me go and argue over that. You have electricity, all you have to go home and sleep and up your wife. Tell what happens.
Oh, but I have no wife.
Well, hug up your pillow. Here, David. David, very quickly, this spillover, I want people to know. I hope for listening still. I want for to know I'm still struggling. I always struggle. And when you talk about going and help young people, as one of the persons in my group, we have a group that go through to try to help young people, young men and women. I still struggling. I never stop. You know how I just move.
Yeah.
We just be going through our Trinidad and Tobago to help people still. So tell them I want for to know if you listen. I stop struggling. I will struggle till the day I go to till the day I die. And I want to tell them something. When Nelson Mandela was making a move to free the people from apartheid in South Africa, they didn't so harm their own. Their own used to be behind them. And when he was in jail, their own going up the road to protest. They never should lick up people like themselves. When Sandino from America, from Nicaragua, when them fellas was trying to free the people, they didn't so harm their own and pelting in the road to humbug the own people from going here to there. Type of way you have to have proper discernment. When you're going to struggle, you have to have a disciplined, protractive way how you're operating from point A to point B. Not this Mickey Mouse thing, Mickey Mouse. When they try all that thing on the highway for, that will help them?
Yeah,
that will help them? That will help them? We ain't talking about the normal thing with people putting in the road for, because the road have pothole and all them thing, you know. That wasn't no pothole thing, you know. Them try to disrupt people from going to Paula Spain and bike. If you see them kind of thing on the road.
And they had fire too, you know.
They're illiterate people, they're illiterate. And the illiteracy is not only them to be nice to blame from since in the beginning with the educational system and so on. You know, I struggled with my children like could boast. You feel like it was easy? It wasn't easy, but me good and thief, I know how to run a struggle. I know to move people to get them to act. When it's one managing thing, no man is an island. When it's one managing thing, that you load up a truck, I'll pick up a truck with some old tire and some old stone and some old fridge and throw it in the road. They cannot struggle. People can just hate them because of that. They may know that. I'm teaching them that. When you disrupt the community in that kind of way, they get to hate you. The little sympathy they have for you, they turn around and say you and get to hate you. So I would know that, you know, but he will say that on the radio because I don't know why. He and them MSJ people will say that because them strapping at any kind of straw. Them anything they're looking for support. Anything. I don't understand how you could be doing illegal thing and cut it on cable and do no dotishness. And then you turn around and say, if they stop it, they will cause crime. That means you know you're a criminal, you know you're a thief already. So if you can't thief cable, you will go and thief and do something else.
Well, boy.
People let somebody else call. You know, I start off your program for you.
Okay.
Right, so you take care.
All right, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know. You see, this whole scrap iron industry is something that no matter what you do or say, you will not be on the right side. You will not be on the right side. Good afternoon. Speak out. Yes. Caller. All right. Try us back. Yeah, you got a bad connection. Yeah. So last night. Speak out.
Good afternoon, David.
Yes, sir.
Inal here. David, I feel that we were on the cusp of people taking vigilante action as they did in Mamoral against these thieves. Somebody cutting down wire cables of various sorts because they can't tell if fiber optic in the dark, and they have cut it in some places when it's no use to them, and they invested time on that up there on the pole, right? So clearly they felt it was copper and that they could go and strip it out, burn it or whatever. So they were also cutting fiber, and the digital executive was saying, well, you know, if this doesn't get under some kind of control, he doesn't know what will happen here. And in other words, he was looking at us as a bunch of people who couldn't get a grasp on cable thieves. Now, manhole thieves and so on doesn't really affect the Digicel company, except if enough of their customers break their necks and what have you, and you wouldn't be able to buy their cards and take their various plans. But I suspect they would be concerned too that they are operating in a country with such a high degree of lawlessness. But in Mamoral, they didn't go into all of that esoteric discussion that takes us to the higher levels of the human mind. They hold them fellas and put a good licking on them. And I suspect it was going to come to that eventually, because these guys will be becoming a real pest. That imagine you're walking somewhere where you know, and you pass there any morning, you're passing back next morning, or you pass there in the evening, you're passing next morning again, and you're going down in a manhole because somebody stole the cover, and you cripple yourself or you seriously hurt yourself. Your family ain't going to take that. The next time they see somebody thieving a manhole cover or some scrap dealer get caught with manhole covers or somebody thieving cable, they might say, you know what, Peter pay for Paul, because we just think like that here, Peter pay for Paul.
Yeah.
And I just feel comfortable that it has been shut down and people are not going to be injured, maimed, killed, retaliated against. And it will go both ways, because when you attack these guys, sometimes they might get the upper hand on you, or they might come back because they will know in which area they were attacked. So I feel that the thing that came down on the government really hard was the fact that vigilante justice had set in. Because whatever, as I said, whatever day it was, whatever the Attorney General is going to write in law, and that's what he's going to do, not going to implement anything. He's going to write some stuff, and they will pass it in Parliament, or it might become government policy. Whatever he's going to do in the next 3 months that they said he would look into it and write and what have you. That he could have done that months ago, because months ago, the situation was already very bad, right? But I feel the trigger for their action now, well, it's twofold, that they are now interfering with WACK installations and TNTech installations and this one and that one, right? Instead of just stealing cables out on the open and stealing this, that, and the other. And even more importantly to me, I think, what is driving them, the government, is that some of these thieves would have been left bloody, broken, and some dead even dead. Whatever it takes, man, we had to get rid of them. Thank you.
Thank you. And that's what it comes down to. 6524901. Speak out.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
I normally go and take lunch on a Tuesday between 1 and 12. Because I normally take off my radio during that time so I can enjoy my lunch.
Okay.
Right? And the thing about it is that we have a situation with the Minister of National Security who attends National Security Council meeting tell the nation the scrap iron industry was affecting national security. I don't know what part of national security it was affecting, but I can just imagine that it reaches a stage where people will kill people when they come to take a gate and they come outside. You could be shot by these people. So we can't argue with the government who is in charge of managing this country to go against them, because you can take a vote in this country right now. I'm sure 95% of the population will agree with the shutting down of the scrap iron industry. Right now, there's madness on the road. Madness. If anything, this fella steal inside their house. I can be in my yard and I'll come and take up the I'll be crying in construction. I'll tell them no. You understand? There was a madness going on. And if that was continued, it will only get worse and people can get serious injured or death. You understand? So I think it's a good decision. Bring laws into effect and manage them, and let us take it from there. We can't have an industry this lawless. Right. And these people who buy this scrap metal, you pay them to back anybody who brings stolen goods. You buy back anybody. There's only one police whole one that they are in charge. So refuse. All they wanted to know where it come from. And they're in business. Because imagine they stole a bell from a church and somebody accepted it and never recovered the bell. Which means one of the accepted the bell. And he must not know it's a church bell because it's not a normal size bell, like a Baptist bell. They have very large bell ring with a rope attached to it. So whoever took that bell must have known that it came from a church. You understand? So I compliment the government on shutting it down. And let's see where you go from here. Also,
Yes.
you know what the inflation rate in the UK?
Tell
And
me.
the city driver of that inflation, you know what?
What?
It's bread.
Bread. Wow.
Cost of bread. So when people feel that we have it so bad in Trinidad, they don't understand what we're going to study world. Well, listen, right there in Barbados, Barbados, try to emulate and say Barbados doing better than us. What are the cost of gas in Barbados right now? What are the cost of gas in Barbados? You know Barbados, and what they're not talking about Barbados. You know that the NIS in Barbados is on the verge of shutting down.
Yeah?
On the verge of shutting down. But nobody speaks about those things. You understand? When they compare, they must be just. And level in the comments and let us know the truth. Barbados only have 12 years remaining on national insurance payment. 12 years.
Yeah,
And that insurance was something that they invested in, which
Yeah.
Trinidad wanted to do a couple of years ago. So why don't we invest Trinidad NIS and make money on the outside? See what happened with the investment?
Yeah.
And investment is a risk. It's a risk. You could make and you could also lose. So I am thanking the government that I live in a country where we have prudent management,
Yes.
and well-structured governance. And I compliment the government of this country, and they will have my vote in the next election. Thanks.
Thank you very much. You see, this is where you need outspoken people and people who could tell it like it is. Because, I mean, okay, the government did what they had to do. They put a ban for the next 6 months. And yesterday and today, scrap iron dealers decide we're not taking that. Blocking the road out there in St. Margaret's. Blocking. Protests. Yesterday, this morning. And what? If this is going to make the government change their mind? You know, sometimes you wonder who's really behind all of this. You really have to wonder at times who's behind all of this. Because I heard the Scrap Iron Dealers Association president saying he's not in agreement with that protest. He's not in agreement with that. And they shouldn't do it. So then, who's behind this? If they didn't get an okay from the president, and the president is not in favor of that protest, burning of the roads and this kind of thing, then who's behind that? Look where they are, St. Margaret's. I think the MP was supposed to be part of it today. I think, I wonder if the MP was supposed to be part of that today. You see, it's very serious right now, and suddenly now everything now is black people, black. Every time you're protesting now, you always have to be talking about poor black people now. What is this about now? Speak out.
Good afternoon.
Yes.
It's poor black people. When the TNM government wanted to open up the smelter plant, was them little black boys, poor black people wearing yellow. That stop it. I wonder if those poor black people who was wearing yellow and still supporting the yellow, people wearing the yellow, how they feel it.
If we had the smelter plant, we would have been better off. But no, it's the poor black people who follow the yellow that Trinidad tongue out of their head. It's dropping, it's touching the ground. Eh? I wonder how those people in yellow feeling. The leader from Palmas, how she feeling, and Munira and the rest of them. Eh? They didn't want it. Eh? Well, I could remember on TV, Mr. Manning was campaigning. A poor black man make an X and stop Mr. Manning from talking to him and singing. I wonder how these poor black people, they forgot the smelter plant. What went on? The OPV. They stopped the Gary Griffith and all of them. You know who take it up? Our next country grab the OPV. Eh? It's poor black people and no Gary Griffith and them in the yellow want to come and bamboozle people. No, we ain't forget that. Eh? Because all you then implement the smelter plant. So let's scrap it. Eh? Canada, look, right now the government has to pay X amount of millions of dollars for current they interfere with, and they still have to pay for that. Who calls them that? The little black boy from on Beaton. Eh? And is the little black boy from on the Beaton? On the east-west corridor? No! Only open only eye and watch Palmas. 5 years! She have a heliport on in she house. Look how much years the late man in have the humble home. When they kick him out, he gone in a little humble home. The one they call Munidal, 5 years. Look the property. Check all them UNC ex-ministers for 5 years. Check the property and what they have. As Jack Warner said, they couldn't, when they went in Parliament, they couldn't buy a doubles. After 3 years, they buy more than doubles. One man had 2 vehicles, they will send chassis number, I believe something as that. All your little black boys, open all your eyes. They're using all your, for the love of my country, are gone. All you look for that, all you vote them in, all you take that now, are gone.
Thank you very much, little black boy. Speak out.
Yeah, Pinal here. You know the smelter would need gas, and we are shutting down plants because we don't have gas. Train 1 has gone completely out. And also plants in Point Lisas and so on, we don't have the gas. If we had the smelter plant and we decided to run it, some other thing would have shut down. Secondly, the heliport is not on top of the house. The helicopter landed in the yard. A piece of the entire yard is not paved, it's open whatnot. Paved a bit of it, and they put some lights for the helicopter to know exactly. I mean, you know, in all kind of weather, you could still see it. And then the youth camps and whatnot. It's been about 20 years since Mr. Pandey, 21 years since Mr. Pandey closed them. It would have been more than that because it wasn't in his last year of government. They can, you know, so much time the PNM could have reopened that. I'm just saying, you know, people are so informed, so differently informed. You know, you have differently abled, differently informed. I forgot some of what he said. Jack Warner had targeted Dr. Ahmed Har Singh. Dr. Ahmed Har Singh had been a vet for 10 years before he got into government. He was employed by the government, and he had 3 private clinics. He had his name painted on walls all around the South area here. And his mother is from not far from here where I live. He used to come and run in our sports as a young man, and we kept tabs on him. So, you know, and he said Dr. Ahmed Singh had 5 or 6 houses or what have you. I don't know how many houses he had. He would have invested his money, of course. But he had been a vet for 10 years before he got into Parliament. I have a feeling he could have bought a few doubles. Thank you.
Thank you. Trinidad and Tobago is very fluid right now, politically fluid, right? Very, very politically, very, very fluid right now. Right? Speak out.
Fireman.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Fireman.
Yes.
Fireman.
Yes, my brother.
I just saw something here, boy, and it had me kind of troubled a little bit and so on.
Who is that, boy? They mash up a bottle of rum or what?
No.
Oh,
No, if they do that, they might be listening to the obituaries or somebody dead. Mr. Fires, I am seeing where the acting commissioner of police has made recommendations for police officers to start back to wear the gray and blue, the old uniform, to get rid of imposters.
Oh.
And I'm trying to understand. So, if they're doing that now, to get rid of imposters, or to, they go bring back the old Mazda and the old 280C police car.
I ain't feeling that boy.
Because it have imposters driving the vehicles police drive with blue lights also. You understand?
You're right.
So they're going to bring back Mazda, 280C, Toyota Crown, and all them old police car, Vauxhall, and all these various things.
Nah.
They're going to bring them back. Bring them back.
Those vehicles will be too antique.
When I read the article, it's just but what the days when we reached to, we have new uniform. The uniforms on them are better. They are more rugged. They don't really tear and rip and things, so The uniforms are also very expensive. And you're telling me, when I joined the police force, my waist was 34. And I put on some weight, I went 42 now. You understand? I had to go back. I had to go back now and train and lose all this weight to fit back in our pants. I was wearing 15, 20, 25 years. Like, what kind of dirty shit is that, boy?
Early Taylor will get some work.
So is it that they're afraid the criminals, they know how to handle that aspect of the thing?
Well,
You have to reverse. You're reversing now,
Yeah.
You're putting reverse and you're going back in time.
Where that information is, boy? Whereby they have to go back to the old uniform? Where that is?
I sent it for you, but you got to read that when you reach home and you're sort of, and you eat your food and your belch and thing, and you take a little sip.
Yeah.
And you could see, but I just remain like me a little bit now because I get fed up on this. I get fed up on buying scrap iron, old battery buying. I get fed up on that, and it's the longest I hear Birdman talk, the longest I hear Birdman. Mr. Fires is not easy. They feel when they protest the government going and reverse that in the morning or today.
Well, that is the thing.
No. And I'm watching a man in yellow this morning talking about this. And you remember yesterday I said it became political? They will use that as a yardstick now to get support. When in truth and in fact, they were also affected. You understand?
Yeah.
They were affected. Pole fall on their house when them fellas got the damage their car. But everything now is politics. Politics. Mr. Fires, when you reach home, I'll give you a call and then we'll talk. Maybe I'll come over and we'll have some sips by you.
No, it's all right. Nobody lives there.
Nobody lives there?
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll find you. Mr. Fires, where you living in upstairs or downstairs?
Nobody lives there.
Well, because if you're living downstairs, Mr. Fires, even if I had to crawl on my belly, I'll find you. Okay, you have a good evening, son.
Okay. Oh. Well, because even yesterday with that protest, I understand there was traffic from all of my C3, if anybody knows south. Because reaching into Port of Spain was real challenging yesterday, because there was traffic from all along at C3, you understand? It was very, very, very difficult. I haven't really monitored too much on what happened today. I haven't really gotten a chance to monitor on what happened today because they were protesting also today, You understand? I know they were supposed to have a press conference at about 1:30 also today. So I'm not too sure, because I know they're going to have a lot of, that press conference going to have a lot of theater in it. A lot of theater, a lot of drama. You understand? Because they were looking at the legal options. So I want to see what legal options they could really bring forth now to make the government reverse their decision, whereby a ban has been placed for the next 6 months, right? But I mean, something had to happen. The government had to put down their foot at some time, because this has been going on. And of course, as I was telling Fuad, this is the only country. You are wrong, but you are right. No matter how wrong you are always right. Because everybody will know that a lot of illegal activity in terms of these scrap iron dealers are purchasing these cables, these copper cables. Where did they get them from? Once you're purchasing these things, obviously it's illegal. And somewhere along the line, a decision have to be taken, because it's illegal. Where are these people getting these copper cables and these manhole covers and all this sort of steel from? I mean, that's just a few days ago. I mean, they stole steel from the Ministry of Works and Transport. From steel poles and all this kind of thing, so they stole from the Ministry of Works and Transport. They were found in a scrapyard, eventually, right? Yes, they were charged, but when that, how far that is going, the scrapyard dealers, about 3 of them were charged. You understand? I mean, well, look, boy, speak out.
Yes. Good afternoon for the PNM people and those who are supporting the PNM. All you know today, would that be the late Patrick Manning birthday? The people in yellow, eat all your heart out, are gone for the love of my country.
Thank you, sir. So a lot of these things is making it very, very uneasy right now. And I don't know. It's too much that we had to be putting up with right now in this country. Too much. Right? And I think we had to find a way whereby we could start to breathe a little easier, a little more gentle right now, because it's too much we are putting up with at this time. Right? The trade unions on one hand, protesting. They want more than 4%. Right? And every Monday morning, somebody protesting for bad road. You're protesting for water, lack of or no water. You're protesting for, I don't know how to put this one, boy, for road that seems to be moving. There's protests going on at all time. And then you have all of this complemented over the last week. We close to about 40 murders within the last week, you know. So we have all this that we have to be putting up with right now. But at the end of the day, we have to live, right? Last night, a power outage of over 30% of the country. Well, they were able to get it up and running last night. Let's say about after 11 or so. And but basically what they're saying, that was just for the night, because they were saying, well, it's nighttime and it's dark, so they will have to come back this morning and finish the work. And because of that, they were saying that there will be power outages in some areas. And it really happened during the course of this morning in order to get this grid up and running in a proper and efficient way again. So all this we had to be putting up with. All this is what we putting up with. And I don't know when we are going to settle down. But right now it's very, very tense. It's very, very fluid right now. And I hope we continue to feel comfortable. I hope we continue to feel happy. Because things are very, very fluid in and around us. Driven by politics. And I really hope that things really come back down to some level of normalcy, because we're celebrating our 60th independence in 2 weeks' time. And I really hope that we could really enjoy our 60th birthday as an independent nation. You know, and for that to happen, we need to bring back some love. We need to bring back we need to bring back some unity to this country, Trinidad and Tobago, so we can feel happy and comfortable again. I mean, look what the commissioner, acting commissioner, have to do now in order to try to bring some level of stability. He called out over 60 officers who were on leave. Call them out. Call them out to work now. Also, you're working 24 on, 24 off now. No longer 24 on, 48 off, or 48 off, 24 on. No, 24 on, 24 off now. Hours, we talk about. In order to have more feet on the ground. Because apparently you need more manpower to try to deal with this escalating homicide rate that we are having, that we're experiencing right now. So let's watch on and see how that works, because even whilst that was putting, even whilst he was putting that into place, look what happened last night. A man was shot, and in order to shoot that man, 2 children also got shot together with another adult. One of that child is critical because he was shot in his head. All of that happened whilst the acting commissioner was trying to put measures in place to deal with this escalating homicide that we are putting up with right now. So he's also saying to the public, expect some inconvenience, because there will be more there will be roadblocks, etc., more patrol, etc. So expect some inconvenience. Because as he's saying, all this is done to try to get a handle on the escalating crime situation that we're experiencing right now. It's making us sound like a very frightening place. It's making Trinidad and Tobago sound like a very frightening place right now. But I hope what is happening is just temporary, and soon they will get a handle on things. All right? Let me just open back my lines here again. All right, my lines are cleared again. All right, so hoping that they will get a handle on things soon. Right? So that's where we are right now in this beautiful Twin Island. Anybody got any feedback on what happened out there in Grenada? Because those guys were supposed to be charged today. One day I go end up on the ground here, this whole share they have here, yes? Gosh. Hey. Yeah. So I know they were supposed to go to court today. I mean, I have it on my phone, but I don't have time to go through that right now. Because I know they it came out there, but I don't have the time to go through it right now. But that's where we are right now, and we are waiting to see how these new measures that are being put in place, how effective they will be over the next few days, right? So we were trying to see, all right? Good afternoon, speak out.
Good afternoon, Mr. Matthews. You're getting feedback? I forgot to take off the radio, sorry.
All right, yeah, go ahead now.
Yes. No, I really don't like to talk about realities, because realities is truth, and everybody don't like to deal with truth. Now, at one time, I'm a senior citizen. At one time, this was a God-fearing, law-abiding country. Each individual, or for the most part, when they make regular, it was for a minor offense. Yeah, minor nature offense. I'm not a police, but just saying.
Yeah.
And people looking outside for laws and this and that. The solution starts with self. If each one of us decide to abide by the tenets of the law by whatever name, and the law, which deals with rules, laws, regulations, etc., we will have order. Because we did have it in this country at a time, and this is fact. So in order for us to go back to that, each individual is the individual responsibility for the collective good. Each individual, or I should say most, should intend and decide to do what is right. Is easy, you know. But because reason doesn't have the letter I. If we check the word reason, it does not have the letter I. So let us calm down, and it's not my way or the highway. Let us try and do what is right for, and let us go back. It is real traumatic. I use a strong word to see the society as it is now and how it used to be. People will say it's past tense and whatever. But as it was in the beginning, so it is in the end, and that's what we learn. So let us try and go back to that, but don't point to this one, that one, and the other one. People have to understand this is an internal solution, not external full. It depends on internal plus external, give you the whole component. So let us mellow our vibes, and the school children should pay attention to education, because that's what they're going to school for, to open the school books and nothing else. The computer maybe and the tablet, but nothing else physical, nothing physical. Leave that till they get big, and that will solve plenty of the problems, because what happens is that when they get big, they leave school, they're not fully qualified, they have no skills, and they have altar where they could have learn more. That is the adult literacy program. They have that. So humble, go altar, check Google, whatever, and learn to develop your mind, because the brain consists of several trillion cells, not million, not billion, but trillion. So let us start thinking, learning. You're never too old to learn. Some grandparents graduate the same time as the grandchildren. So let us get serious, face reality, and deal with truth. Thank you very much. I hope I haven't offended anybody, but I was just dealing with reality. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. No problem. Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome. You're welcome. Bye.
Okay. Okay, people, thank you very much. That's it for me for today. Until tomorrow, please God. Have fun. Be safe. All right? I'm out.
I am woman, hear me wrong. Oh, yeah. Said I give thanks for life. Life is everywhere. The wind that blows, it gives me life. The trees they grow, they give me life. The rivers flow, it gives me life. You give me life. The sun that shines, it gives me life. The rain that falls, it gives me life. You give me life. You give me life. I used to think about life as a big magic one that you're so far away, and one day that you come, but you're always around. I give thanks for the knowledge of my pineal gland. Oh yes, I did biology. You never did that part of me, but they did the study. I did geometry, yet they never taught me about the flower of life, the pattern of creation. Go check it, it tells me that the sunshine gives me life. The trees they grow, they give me life. The rivers flow, it gives me life. You give me life. The sun that shines, it gives me life. The rain that falls, it gives me life. You give me life. You give me life. I never knew that my health was based on my thoughts. Not just silly thoughts, but the ones that come from love, that knows, that sees, and overstand. And even to the wicked still have compassion. So them protect and them serve, yet them use guns. Fighting fire, with the ghetto sons. Then them want to see love and support from the community. Well, what's wrong? It tells me that the sunshine gives me life. The trees they grow, they give me life. The rivers flow, it gives me life. You give me life. The sun that shines, it gives me life. The rain that falls, it gives me life. You give me life. You give me life. It's not so very hard for us to live as one. Just put down the things that cause separation. Put down religion, put down the weapon, put down depending on the politician. When love is around, no one no higher than none. No sufferation, enough to go around. Sickness I go done. Eternal life on this journey that me depend. Me tell you, son, the wind that gives me life. The rivers flow, they give me life. The trees they grow, they give me life. You give me life. The sun that shines, it gives me life. The rain that falls, it gives me life. Because I have life, I give life. You give me life. I used to think about life as a big magic one that you're so far away. And one day that you come, but you're always around. I give thanks for the knowledge of my pineal gland. Oh yes, I did biology. You never did that part of me, but they did the study. I did geometry, yet they never taught me about the flower of life, the pattern of creation. Go check it, it tells me that the sunshine gives me life. life is everywhere. The wind that blows, it gives me life. The trees they grow, they give me life. The rivers flow, it gives me life. You give me life. The sun that shines, it gives me life. The rain that falls, it gives me life. You give me life. You give me life. I used to think about life as a big magic one that you're so far away, and one day that you come, but you're always around. I give thanks for the knowledge of my pineal gland. Oh yes, I did biology. You never did that part of me, but they did the study. I did geometry, yet they never taught me about the flower of life, the pattern of creation. Go check it, it tells me that the sunshine gives me life. The trees they grow, they give me life. The rivers flow, it gives me life. You give me life. The sun that shines, it gives me life. The rain that falls, it gives me life. You give me life. You give me life. I never knew that my health was based on my thoughts. Not just any thoughts, but the ones that come from love, that knows, that sees, and overstand. And even to the wicked still have compassion. So them protect and them serve, yet them use guns. Fighting fire with the ghetto sons. Then them want to see love and support from the community. Well, what's wrong? It tells me that the sunshine gives me life. The trees they grow, they give me life. The rivers flow, it gives me life.